We would like to start the Innovative City Forum Innovative City Brainstorming session. First of all, on the part of the organizer, I would like to call upon Professor Heizo Takenaka, Professor of Toyo University, Professor Emeritus, Keio University, Chairman of the Institute for Urban Strategies and the Mori Memorial Foundation, President, and Academyhills. Professor Takenaka, please.
皆さんこんにちは。ご紹介をいただきました竹中平蔵です。
Hello everyone, thank you very much for your introduction. My name is Takenaka. I should have changed my necktie because this is the same as the one on the photograph. But at any rate, welcome to the 5th Innovative City Forum. And in the afternoon of the second day, we will have a brainstorming session, which is quite long. This is a method that is employed at the Davos conference. We have adopted this method from last year. And the main theme is the fourth industrialization for the Innovation City Brainstorming. We would like to talk about the changes in lifestyle as well as Tokyo as well as our city. So that will be the topic for this brainstorming. And we will be having 4 breakout sessions in the coming 1 hour. Prior to the breakout sessions, in order to establish a common platform, we will have a dialogue amongst experts later. So it is important to confirm the common understanding, and that is the reason why I would like to do the survey. We have distributed devices to you that will enable you to participate in this survey. Please press the button. This is a test. So how many times have you participated in the Innovative City Forum? Number 1 is first time, number 2 is second time, and third time, and more number 3. So please press the device according to your response. It seems that most of you are first-timers, but about 1/4 have participated 3 times and more. That was a test. Now, regarding the fourth industrialization, I would like to check what your recognition is. Please respond to the following question. How do you think the fourth industrialization changed your life? Number 1 is significant change. Second is some change will occur. And 3 is no change. Not a significant change. So it seems that we have a dominant response. Overwhelmingly, most of you have responded that it will change radically. About 1 out of 20 thought that there will not be much change. Through the brainstorming session, please debate what areas will be subject to change. Second question is the following. Do you think the fourth industrialization has already begun? 1 is already begun. Second is seems as if it's begun. Third is it is likely to occur going forward. And the fourth is no consciousness of the fact. Unlikely that it will occur in Japan is number 4. So more than half of you have responded that it's already begun. But there are many people who feel that you do not feel as if it's begun. And 10% of people said that it is not likely to occur in Japan. Fourth industrialization includes fintech, blockchain. There are many buzzwords. So it seems that there is activity occurring, but there are still some people who feel they do not see it happening. So I hope last question will now be shown. Do you think that Japan's technological innovation initiatives are sufficient? We feel that the economy and the country is likely to change. But do you think that initiatives in terms of technological innovations is sufficient? Number one is Japan is already leading the world. Second is Japan is catching up. Third response is that they will depend on the respective areas. And four is Japan is behind, and that's the overwhelming response. Most people feel that Japan is behind in terms of technological innovation. We'll be hearing from Chairman Endo of NEC, one of the leaders in the world. Thank you very much. With that response, I would like to move on to the specific areas.
この言葉は
So we often use the expression Industry 4.0. Well, the Hanover method, that was the first time, but back in 2011 that the German government started to use this expression. And then this initiated the further discussion, well, starting from 2012 in the US and other parts of the world. And then around 2012, deep learning and the significant improvement of the AI started. And then the fourth industrial revolution has become the buzzword widely used. But looking at the Japan's strategy, the word that the fourth industrial revolution was used last year for the first time as one independent chapter in 2016. So in that sense, as far as government engagement is concerned, well, we are somewhat lagging behind. But still, AI, robots, IoT, big data, sharing economy. So the combination of these, well, they have already been taken up by the experts in Japan. So the question is, how are we going to handle these new technologies? And now, let us welcome the first session to lay the platform and foundation for the following sessions. Professor Takenaka, thank you very much. And then we would like to start the opening dialogue. And we are going to have Mr. Nobuhiro Endo, Chairman of the Board, NEC Corporation, and the Professor Heizo Takenaka will be having this dialogue titled The Fourth Industrial Revolution and New Lifestyle. Now, let us welcome Mr. Endo from NEC Corporation.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. We have with us Mr. Endo, Chairman of NEC. We'll be discussing the activities of the companies leading this wave. What is the understanding with respect to the fourth industrialization, as well as the initiatives taking place at NEC? So please give us your explanation first. And thank you very much for this opportunity. This is Endo of NEC. I would like to talk about the fourth industrialization, Industry 4.0, with respect to NEC. In Society 5.0 is also being pursued in Japan. At any rate, ICT and digitalization is driving the values for humankind. On the part of NEC, which is an ICT company, we are making efforts to providing solutions for society. So our company's message is orchestrating a brighter world. This includes cross communication and deep communication. This will be our market, so that a brighter world can be created. There are two meanings: shining bright and also smart. So brighter future with brighter solutions is what we are aspiring to provide to society. And that's the reason why we are promoting orchestrating a brighter world. Let me talk about the background first. In this way, we have set forth the direction because of demographics. There are 7 billion people living in the world currently, and it is likely to increase to 9 billion, and that's 1.3 times in terms of population. But in terms of urbanization, 50% are living in the city. and 3.5 billion people are living there. And 35 years' time, they will account for 30%. And that's 70% of 9 billion. That's 6.3 billion people living in the urban environment. In terms of population growth, it's only 1.3 times. However, if you look at the urban population, it will increase by 1.8 times from 3.5 to 6.3 billion. And this population will mean challenges for humankind. But even during this population growth, we need 1.8 times of energy demand and 1.7 times more food will be required. And 1.6 times more in terms of water will be required. The population will grow only by 1.3 times, but in terms of energy, water, and food, we need 1.8, 1.6, and 1.7 times, which means almost 2 times will be required. We have to resolve this problem, this challenge. And all these areas are subject to limited resources, which means that the issues are very serious. There is also a population decline occurring in Japan. And therefore, the ICT computing power, as well as network establishing capabilities and software capabilities will be brought to bear to provide stable as well as secure and safe environment can be provided. And we hope that this can link to SDGs, the achievement of the SDGs. Now, computing, networking, and software capabilities will be brought to bear. And there are 3 strengths that we have. First of all, to establish real time. Second, dynamic solutions will be provided. And remotely, we can deploy these technologies. These are the 3 functions of ICT. And against this backdrop, AI, artificial intelligence, is going to become a very important area. This is a hierarchy for AI. At the bottom, we have data. So this data must become more valuable, and high-quality data will be required, first and foremost. Without this, we cannot achieve AI. Second, we need analysis. High-quality analysis will be required. And ultimately, based on that, intellect will be created. Now, when we consider AI, we have to consider the following.
So in the real world and the cyber world, or cyber field, we have to connect them together, combine them. So they're creating value in the cyber world. That means digitalization or the industry 4.0. In order to do so, well, we need high-quality data, or turning data into high-quality data so that we can feed it to the cyber world. That is the important aspect. And there's another issue. By using data in the cyber world, we need to enhance the efficiency or to realize the partial optimization and the total optimization as well. So that's what we need to do. And that's what we can do digitally based upon the numbers and figures. However, well, the optimized answers has to be received by the real world. And in the real world, we have to have the mechanism to handle such information. Otherwise, value cannot be delivered to the people, humans. So the digital interface and also system to receive the hardware sharing is one example. So unless we have such system in the real world, even if we have something very wonderful in the cyber world, real world will not be able to fully utilize that and enjoy benefit out of that. So this shows, well, it's related to high quality data, or they're turning the data into better data. And this is the example of a facial recognition, facial authentication. So this is just one example, but data, getting better in terms of quality. So this is a good example. So this is the video data. So and you see all these people descending the stairs, and we pick up the faces out of them. and we conduct the data sampling of the faces, and almost simultaneously we can identify who they are. And then on the left-hand side, well, the National Institute of Standard Technology conducted evaluation of this facial recognition capability, and we are ranked as #1 in the world in this capability. So something like this, and also based upon this, social solution and also safety, that is where we are focusing upon right now. And why safety? Well, the economy of a certain country is closely related to safety of that society or the country. There is a strong correlation. Well, the World Bank data is shown here. Well, safety, as the society gets safer, GDP goes up. So in many places, well, we are talking about the enhancement of the economy, but the economy alone cannot be sufficient to push up the GDP. We also have to pay attention to safety. We have to have the infrastructure to ensure the social safety. So this is another area we are working on. So ICT basic assets are computer, network, software. So these are the basic assets. And by using them, real-time, dynamic, and remote, these are the functions. And we need to maximize them so that we can achieve safety, security, efficiency, and equality, which is the basic infrastructure of the society. And the real world and the cyber field, we need to fully establish the connection between these two, and that laid the foundation of the fourth industrial revolution. So I think this is the good point for discussion. Thank you very much, Mr. Endo. It was a very good introduction for our brainstorming and the discussion session, and I want all of you in the audience to consider this. But the one clarifying question that I'd like to make, earlier you mentioned orchestrating the brighter world. That's the title of your presentation, and the brighter world is what we expect from this fourth industrial revolution. But the Michael Osborne, according to the Oxford expert, AI and robots are going to deprive 50% of the jobs from the human beings. That's what they say. So that means, well, we will be able to enjoy the same level of the life, same quality of life with 50% of the input, human input, or are we going to suffer from this because of the loss of job? So Mr. Endo, do you have positive outlook as with AI and robots? Yes, smarter city. I think it is the same idea. So smarter city, by becoming the society a smarter city, say if it is the agriculture, well, some people say that the agriculture may become difficult. However, with this the smarter city approach, we can also make the agriculture more efficient and the compatible. So it is not that the one technology introducing the better future, but we need to consider how to optimize the combination of different technologies. And then I believe that will certainly lead to the solution of the issue that you mentioned. Yes, so the real world, how to realize these benefits in the real world, that is important. So please, well, I think this is a good point for brainstorming.
Another question is from the point of view of economists, because I'm an economist. There are often quoted examples. There are two types of technologies. One is the automatic rice cooker machine. Now, 50 years ago, people were able to benefit because of convenience. There's also the PCs. And there are people who can use PCs well and people who can't. So there was a divide. And there is technological innovation which will benefit everyone. And there is also technological innovation which will divide people. So there are two different types of technology. With the advent of the fourth industrialization, I think the latter is occurring. There seems to be a disparity in society. What is your view on that? In terms of technological innovation, it requires time, obviously. And what I'm often telling my team members is that in order to bring about innovation, And in fact, if that is the case, it is wrong. Innovation occurs not by the power of the people, but spontaneously, because there are the earnings of people, but using technology to meet this demand will create innovation. If that is the case, as the professor has just mentioned, PC had brought about division between the haves and have-nots, people who can use and who cannot. But I think along this, what is Industrial 4.0 means that everyone can use PCs. Even if you cannot type, you'll be able to benefit from the power of PC. And I think that is what Industry 4.0 is all about. And toward achieving this objective, we have to make efforts in terms of development. That is included in the objectives of Industry 4.0. There are discussions regarding the advantages and benefits. And there is also the enhancement of 4.0 can be achieved by outlining the process leading to this objective. It could be called 5.0.
的なまさに社会
Thank you very much. So there is a latent needs in the society, and this is the process to utilize the technology to respond to those the latent needs. And it may take time, but we need to take this in a positive note. According to the questionnaire survey, many people said that Japan is lagging behind other countries. So well, you talked about the facial recognition, and I thought it was wonderful, quite impressive. But the overseas, the facial recognition has been adopted. In Japan, it is not adopted yet, and this is the way, this is the area that the government should make investment. But anyway, Mr. Endo, well, are you happy with the current status of Japan, or do you have sense of the urgency crisis about the status of Japan? Yes, Japanese companies making some successful examples in Japan and try to roll it out to other countries. That was one idea about the globalization. But unfortunately, when it comes to ICT area, that approach may not be applicable, and that is the source of my concern, to be honest. Well, there are many different viewpoints here, but in Japanese market, as I mentioned, the basis of AI is data. And ICT company, what can we do? Of course, data generation, we can do that. But our focus is analysis part. Then unless we have data, even if we have good analytical capability, we are not able to come up with a solution. And also the society that receives the benefit of such exercise cannot enjoy that. So in Japan, can we do that? I have a question mark. And it may take some more time. So in that sense, Singapore, and I earlier talked with you on this point about ICT, and which countries are the top players, the Estonia, Finland, the Netherlands, and Singapore. Earlier, we talked about these countries. So in these countries and places, well, the application of technology in these countries may give us the answers more quickly. In Japan, we can do that if we have data. However, accessibility to data, well, we don't have mechanism to make such access available. And so it looks as if we are lagging behind other countries. Well, looking from the outside, we look a little behind, but technically speaking, we are not. However, we don't have the mechanism to realize the effective utilization of the technology. So in this society, we have to fully notice that, and we need to make conscious efforts to narrow the gap. Okay, so to realize the benefit, and also regulatory sandbox. Well, in the growth strategy that was decided upon by the cabinet in June this year, and so that's the one important area from policy point of view. And the data, well, in some mechanism we have to collect the data. In December last year, big data well, the basic law for the preparation of big data passed the parliament. It is not the it was the parliamentarians the legislation, not initiated by the government. So that is the reason why media is not covering this. But that is one development. And another point. Well, those people who are attending in this the forum, well, I believe that many of you are in the startup companies. Well, Google used to be a startup in the past, and compared to the U.S., well, I don't know if it is a good idea to compare Japan and the U.S., but still, there are many room for them to make efforts. And the NEC is a leading company, and from a leading company point of view, how do you look at the startups and ventures, and what is your expectation to them? For example, in the pharmaceutical industry, well, the Pfizer, they abolished the Central Research Institute because new ideas are available only from the startups. So they are thinking about the relationship with startups. So now in the fourth industrial revolution, how do you see the startups?
Venture.
No, it's not just limited to ventures, but inclusive of universities, research and development facilities. You shouldn't trust universities. At any rate, inclusive of the research centers such as universities, are very important. The reason being, all technologies are becoming are to be used globally. Therefore, within the confines of one company such as NEC, it isn't as if we can do anything in everything in a closed environment. We totally don't think that is the case. So for certain state-of-the-art areas, if a venture has a superior technology, that is ideal. And we have to make sure that they become visible in the market. There should be a forum where they can speak out. And we embrace such dialogue. We are hoping for such opportunities. Thank you very much. I'm sure that we have art was not covered. There are many university professors, but I said that I'm sorry to say that we shouldn't have expectations toward universities. I retract that. But at any rate, I'm sure you have questions. So please put forth your questions at the brainstorming sessions. Endo-san has talked about the fourth industrialization from top company. But let me talk about the process to follow. You will be divided into four groups. There will be the urban environment work style, sharing economy, and AI and art. They are unique breakout sessions for which you have registered. We will have four facilitators for each session in the area of the urban environment work style, sharing economy, as well as AI. They are in their 30s and 40s. They're at the prime of their career, and they will be the facilitators. And we will ask them to give very stimulating presentations, but don't be too influenced by them. Please accept their comments as a platform for you to generate thoughts. So that is the mindset with which you should absorb as much information as possible. As I mentioned at the outset, the fourth industrialization, or Industry 4.0, was the starting point. And now we're talking about the fourth industrialization in a wider context. And in Japan, we are talking about Society 5.0. This came out of the report of Science and Technology Council meeting, which is being promoted by METI, Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. But perhaps it is not. Some people are saying that it does not resonate well. But anything, there is so much change surrounding us. There are many buzzwords that have been uttered. Fintech, blockchain. Everyone's heard this. Everyone's heard about AI. But there are so many buzzwords, but the profile is not very clear. So inclusive of that, we need to have a brainstorming session to share our wisdom amongst us. So let's engage in constructive discussions. we will have the 4 facilitators come on stage. But at this point in time, please give a big round of applause to Mr. Endo. Thank you, Mr. Endo. Thank you, Mr. Takenaka.